Cheers, I do buckaroos. They cut me rubbing my eyes. It's been a long day, man. Tom's been up since about 5:30. He's tired, man. When Tom's tired, he talks about himself in the third person for no reason. Anyways, how the heck I am the whiskey whisperer for the purpose of this video. Yeah, it's been one long ass day. I am tired. I had something on my mind all day to try to put this together. So much so that I put all the components together before I went to work this afternoon. I had an idea. So I picked up these cardamom bitters while we were in Kansas City. I didn't post any pictures. My wife and I went to Kansas City last weekend, but we kind of kept it quiet, so we haven't posted any pictures. So I'll probably get them up this weekend. But anyways, picked up these cardamom bitters. Like, well, what do I do with those? And then we were at Trader Joe's, and I found this candied ginger, and then I had an idea. Boom. So I had an idea. Yeah, candied ginger. So what I did today is I have some dry ginger that I got from a tea shop the last time we were in Kansas City area. He fixed this real quick. There we go. That'll get us where we want to be, I think. Let me make sure it worked. And we're back in business. So no, I made some simple syrup with that ginger. So what I've got here is about 2 ounces of, I use this lifted spirits rye. There's a reason why I use it, because it is a Madeira cask finish. So they tell you to look for comforting and warm, or it says comforting and warm with notes of salted caramel, tingly oak, and maple honeycomb. I personally get some fruit out of this as well, but I just thought, well, this would be perfect for a fall old fashioned. So when I put about ½ ounce of my homemade ginger simple syrup, candied ginger as a garnish, as you can see, no orange, no cherry, just the ginger. And I am using an ice cube, which I don't typically. I typically, I like my drink straight up, but for this old fashioned, I decided to go with the ice cube. And it's hard to tell there, but it's a diamond shaped mold. It's hard to tell that it's in the glass. I can see it clearly looking down at it, but it's hard to show you all. Anyways, biscuits and cilantro. My first alcohol of the day. I am very tired. Very tired, man. I wasn't really feeling beer, I just want to make one cocktail here, and I may make a second. So I thought about putting 2 in the description, but then wanted to make sure I was feeling like doing a second one because I really want to do a Manhattan. So I picked up some sweet vermouth while we were out. I was out of sweet vermouth, so I've been kind of experimenting with other things. Right, I've been using cream sherry and pour it in place of, but I want to make an actual Manhattan. So anyway, just got that candied ginger just sitting in there. Really makes it nice and aromatic with that ginger simple syrup, and then that Madeira finished rye is awfully aromatic as well. Oh man, that is gorgeous. I didn't. Some of you may notice if you've seen some of my whiskey videos, I didn't make it as strong as I typically did on purpose because I might have that second cocktail, so I just used a couple ounces. God, that was gorgeous. I don't even know how to describe that. That was just beautiful. Yeah, as I was formulating this recipe in my head, this is the whiskey that came to mind. I thought, man, I think that Madeira finished rye is going to be perfect for a fall old fashioned. So again, I've got the ginger simple syrup, candied ginger garnish, cardamom bitters. I hadn't seen cardamom bitters before. I picked up. They had some different bitters at this local or no, at this liquor store in Kansas City. So I picked up cardamom. I picked up toasted almond and cranberry. I thought, well, cranberry would be great. Once we round the corner of Thanksgiving into Christmas, I'll formulate a Christmas old fashioned. But I want to try these cardamom bitters. I mean, that'll be very nice. And there's different. I'm going to try different things as far as the simple syrup and. But I thought with man using the candied ginger and the ginger simple syrup. Oh man, Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Yeah. Now, I typically don't order drinks like this out, mainly because I know they'll never fix them the way I want them, right? Every great once in a while I'll order something, but the problem is a drink like this is about $15 out, or some cases 20. And I can make it at home for considerably less, right? So I don't typically, usually if I have whiskey out, I only do it when we're on vacation or vacation mode. And I would usually drink it neat for the most part. But sometimes you'll go to certain places where you have to have their signature cocktail. Like last time we were in Kansas City, they had a lot of signature cocktails. So I had their smoked Manhattan because I had to try it at Restless Spirits. I almost forgot where I was there for a second. I was curious how much that candied ginger would add to it because it is sugar coated, so it is adding a little bit of sweetness. Certainly adds to the aromatics as well because that homemade ginger simple syrup is very aromatic. But then I feel like, without trying to pat myself on the back too much, I feel like I picked the right whiskey for the type of old fashioned I wanted to do here. Because I have a couple of rides. I've got this one. I also got the classic, whistle pig piggyback, which would have been great as well. But I thought the Madeira cask with everything else going on here would be perfect. And I think I hit it, man. I think I hit it, baby. But yeah, I am thinking Manhattan now, and I'm not going to go too far off the range making a Manhattan. I'm thinking about using the same whiskey, but I'm also thinking about going a different direction, going away from the rye. Um, and I'm still thinking about that one. But again, I got some other bitters. I'm thinking about doing something with those, using those toasted almond bitters. Man, that is a drink, boy. That is absolutely delicious. I didn't want to add much. I didn't want to add much of the simple syrup. I did about a half ounce. And for me, for my taste, I might even cut it to about a quarter ounce next time. But I know some like their drinks a little, or old fashions a little sweeter than I do. For the longest time, I didn't like an old fashioned because it was just too sweet no matter where I had it. So 2020, when I was stuck in the house, yeah, I kept making versions of an old fashioned until I found it the way I liked it. The way I liked it is quite different than everybody else, right? Which is I tend to use a little more whiskey than everybody else and a whole lot less sugar or simple syrup, depending on how you like to make them. Some people insist on the sugar cube. I'm okay with that. I just don't like a gritty drink, and I don't care how much you muddle, you're going to get some sugar grit. And I just find that unpleasant. Some people don't mind. Some people even enjoy that. For me, no. I don't find it enjoyable. My OCD will not let me find that enjoyable. So, anyways. So, yeah, I may do a second video rather than doing a long video with the two cocktails. That way I don't have one cocktail sitting here. I can make them fresh for you. Just made this one fresh as I got home from work. I haven't tried to eat that candied ginger. I mostly bought it for garnish purposes, but I do want to try it to see what it tastes like. My wife bought it. We got two different packets. One was these larger ones. She got some smaller ones. I think she likes to eat them just like that. They're strong. She says they're strong. So she might not eat them just like. Well, the thing is, she might be able to eat these better, the bigger ones, because they're thinner. Those are, I mean, they're chunky. It almost looks like little pineapple chunks. So that might be why it's so strong. She might be able to eat these other ones better because, again, they're very thin. Oh man, now I can relax. Done with both jobs today. This is my long day. Thursday is my long day, man. I work the day gig and the night gig in the same day, so that gets a little. I try to just balance some caffeine all day long. Right when I finished the first gig, I came home, relaxed a little bit, ate something, then had a couple cups of very strong coffee before I went to work. But then I also packed myself two iced teas and a Coke. And I only drank one of the iced teas. And I drank the Coke, but I balanced them at specific points during the evening, right? I drank the iced tea from about 6 to 7. Then I had the Coke from 7 to 8. You know, I just you can't have all the caffeine at once. You kind of got to, and once you have caffeine, you kind of have to balance, keep it going, or you're gonna crash. So it's very strategic. But yeah, usually once I get to 8 o'clock, I kind of catch a second wind, and 9 o'clock I can wrap up. But I had some stragglers, so took a little longer this evening. But I love when new folks come in, right? That's kind of the beauty of the place, the banter, the way it's set up. It is set up for people to meet. So we got somebody that's never been here before. I kind of give the rundown, and then a regular comes in. I introduce them, and then when you've got a conversation, I just step back, and my work here is done. But then now my job is just to pour beer. I just love the concept of banter. I find it very enjoyable. That in the world of social media, seems to make people antisocial, right? Because you got folks at a bar all on their phones instead of talking to each other. Banter is the opposite of that. It encourages that conversation. And I'll tell you, I don't know how many times I'll see people set their phones down in favor of just having a conversation. I think most people want that. But I think we kind of get conditioned not to, right? We get conditioned to want to be on that device, talking to people on that device, rather than talking to people that are right there in front of you. Again, without, I know it's going to look like I'm patting myself on the back again, but boy, this cocktail's delicious. This is awesome, man. The ginger, oh my gosh. That's delicious, man. I don't care who you are. That's tasty. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker. I got to say this though before I wrap up the video, because I usually say it earlier on. I'm not really in this jazz club, right? Okay, all right. Just because I get comments every once in a while. We can tell that's not real, Tom. I'm not trying to fool you. I'm just trying to set a mood. The light jazz, the cocktail. Anyway, I'm the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy, Slancha.